Hi. Hello. All right, I have a lot to cover today, but I don't have enough time to do it. So the Barbie movie deserves its own video. It in fact deserves an entire PowerPoint that I voice over. And I was thinking like maybe I should just let this movie come out so that I can have it and like pause it and go through it. I'm sure I would get a copyright claim for doing that, but at least it would, give me the possibility to be able to rent it on whatever streaming platform and then take screen grabs and drop them in like I do, and show the pictures and provide the parallels that became available to me throughout the movie. My main takeaways, okay, so like if I were to do a critic's review in quotations, like the succinct version, I would say well played, clever, not for the reasons people think, and also I have no idea how this movie would be interpreted if you did not go with the intent to identify subliminal programming within it. I have no idea. And what was interesting to me about the quality of the theater, okay, I don't like movie theaters. I don't go to them often. This experience helped me become a little bit more like, okay, maybe I can go to a movie just because the seats were comfier than I remember. And it was fine. What was interesting to me though is that like there's laugh cues, right? In a movie, there's a point in time where everybody laughs at the same time. This movie was not like that because the jokes and the humor were like catered to different worldviews, conflicting ones at that. So like I thought it was awkward when like certain people would laugh at one thing and then it would be like crickets at another. It was very interesting. Yeah, well played and clever. It was chaotic. It was chaotic. I think everybody, I recommend to go see the Barbie movie just so you know, like where we're at with this. I can't even like. Okay, so did it contain? Who would have thought that Barbie, the Barbie movie that comes out in 2023, was going to have elements of quantum entanglement and different dimensions and crossing through multiple realities? Very obvious allusions to the Matrix movies. I called it. I knew they would do something with that, and it's so, it's ridiculous. I can't wait to get into it. I'm not mad about it actually. I think it's very well played. I think that it's insane actually. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what I think I'm just going to do a reading because that's where I'm being like led for this video. That's what I'm meant to do today. It's July 31st. We're moving into August. August is going to be a incredibly powerful month. So my point is I need to table Barbie. I need to table the Barbie commentary, but do not think I'm going to forget about it. My anxiety and rush around it is like, I have to do it when it's trending so that it makes sense and people, whatever, that doesn't matter. If I do it in a month and a half, people will still be talking about Barbie in some form or another. So the other thing that I thought was like absolutely incredible is that like it has not been lost on me, even though I don't know anything about it, the Oppenheimer movie, the same time, right? And I saw this article come out and it was like the box office big flub in releasing these at the same time. I went with my friend and I said to her, I was like, what is this movie even about, the other one? Because there's two big ones right now. It's Oppenheimer and it's Barbie, and the internet's all about it. They're doing memes where Cillian Murphy of Oppenheimer looks like Barbie and pulling up photos of Margot Robbie when she posed for GQ in 2017, and she's kind of like drag kinging it and looks like Oppenheimer. Yeah, there's some serious correlations there. And what blew my mind when I asked my friend that, I was like, what is that even about? She was like, it's about something with the atomic bomb and like takes place around the time that, Manhattan Project. And I was like, oh my fucking God. I said in a video that I recorded last week, it's like Barbie threw a hot pink bomb into America. So the parallels continue. There is something there, and now I must go see Oppenheimer too. I must. I do have a lot to say in the defense of men around the Barbie movie. I get why a lot of women are happy with the Barbie movie. I get why a lot of conservative people are not happy with the Barbie movie. Yeah, I have a ton to mediate around it because there are certain conversations that I want to have around the Barbie movie that I have not seen and heard anywhere. And so I'm going to spend time on it. And I'm going to prove a lot of points about what's happening in the world as a result of it. So, I don't know, something to look forward to. I get totally overwhelmed when I have so much information. Like, it was a ridiculous film. I highly recommend that everybody go see it, even if you don't give a fuck about it, just to sit there and be like, oh my God. There are points where I was just like covering my face because I was like, I can't deal with this. In a good way, in a bad way, who's to say? I said this a few videos ago. It's like a great time to be alive if you love the theater of the absurd. It totally is. Okay, so the Lion's Gate energy is already upon us. It has much more to do with the star Sirius than it has to do with numerology and like, oh, it has to be the 8th of August. No, it's kind of like retrogrades. Mercury retrograde has, you know, a 2-week shadow period before and after the planet is actually retrograde for, and you can start to feel that energy prior to the actual instance. And so that's what we're entering into right now. And what it's asking us to do is be a lot more serious. A lot more serious. It's almost like we're professional athletes getting ready for like off season. And then like right before it becomes the actual season, you amp up everything that you're doing. If you were preparing in some way before, that's getting kind of like dialed up into a more, you know, perfected state that you're taking more seriously. And what I mean by that is like grounding, hydration, detoxing, modifications to the diet and sleep schedule, being really selective about what you're consuming in terms of media and content, other people's opinions, whatever it may be. And I've said this before, it's like August, and this time, at this point in the cosmic clock, there's so much potential to make those timeline shifts that I've talked about with the different notes or strums of a guitar string. There's like these, you could really just call it portals. Like there's these rips, right? In the time space thing. You can, I want to talk about the Barbie movie, but I don't have time and I'll do it later. I want to give it what it deserves, you know? So anyway, we can make these, you know what I'll do? I'll get ahead of the release of it and I'll do it soon. I'll take what I can from the internet and I'll make some type of, I'll make it happen. I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Who knows? I got to get my car fixed tomorrow. We have the potential to change our lives in really drastic ways, but it's going to take our full commitment. Okay. So it's that like, it's no longer preseason maybe. So it's not off season, it's preseason, but we're moving into like the full season. If there's anything that you've been doing in order to drop things out of your life, but it's just been like a little bit half-assed and you're like, I'm doing it, I'm changing it. No, you're not. And I can say that because I know I've been doing it. I'm like, oh, I'm changing this habit. No, I'm not. You know, there's a lot more that I could be like in terms of, I was thinking about my social sphere and how what's really nice over the past few months, I'm not like dropping friends and picking up new ones. No, I'm just finding that the people that I frequent more often are people that I can have collaborations with, 3 of Pentacles energy. So if it's a creative collaboration or some type of thought experiment collaboration where I feel, you know, safe discussing my innermost thoughts about what's actually happening in the world right now, or if it's some type of business collaboration. I mentioned my friend, you know, who I'm trying to start a business with. I find that I can check multiple boxes, you know, with people. That's a good indication of people that I want to stay in my life because they and myself, we can, hi, sweetheart. We can bounce things off of each other that's mutually beneficial to our other, you know, parts of our lives, like career or passion and hobby. So that's an example. What else was I going to say around this? I feel like the advice around cleaning up our acts should be yelled. I feel like I should be yelling it because it's like the time is now. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now to do, oh man, like for the rest of 2023, you will be feeling the consequences, for better or for worse, of what you did in August. Fact. However you conduct yourself in August is going to set the tone for the rest of your 2023, which obviously is going to set the tone for the rest of your life, kind of, you know. You get where I'm coming from. It's also like these opportunities, these things that we're experiencing that are coming in, that are possible. You can shy away from them, you know, and say like, it's too much. I'm not ready. I can't really see it. So I'm not really confident like going for it. Or you could just do it. You can shy away or you can do certain things new and different. And there's only going to be 2 options. Okay. And so it has to do with the comfort zone again. For example, I have these musical friends and I for a few years, I've hung out with them, you know, like little hangouts, barbecue, drum circle situation. People sing. I love to sing, and I've mentioned that before. But I have a complicated history with singing, and I'm so stage fright. And whether I want to or not, I get super, like, physiologically, like, just, like, my throat doesn't feel the same. I've never had to power through the stage frightness of feeling that way in order to get better at it and more comfortable at it. And so I'm always like, you know, art is my thing. Music isn't my thing, even though music is very much my thing. It just ends up being kind of my personal thing. So these people that I've sung with, you know, hung out with, whatever, they have formed a new little band, and they want me to sing for them. That's a great opportunity, you know? Number one, I'm flattered. Like, yes, thanks for thinking of me. But I'm also like, oh, I don't, you know, I've only been in like choirs or choruses. Like, I'm not a lead vocalist. So I could be shy and be like, no, or I could just go for it. And I think I'm going to, because why not? That's what the energy is asking us to do. Can I fail? Can I embarrass myself? I mean, sure, it's, you know, it's all about how I'm going to react to how that goes. And I kind of think not, you know, because whatever happens is going to be another beep boop in the pinball machine of life that redirects me into something else, you know? So that's an example of like a really good opportunity that I could take or pass up. And we have the Fool on the bottom. Leap of faith. Why not? Just do it. I'm just going to do it. All right, so I am going to get angel answers today. So if you have like questions or a question that you want clarification on, I will take 3 of those cards at the end of this reading. I'm also going to get 2 animal spirits, and I'm going to pull a quick spread with my normal tarot to see where we're at. I already have 3 cards out. One of them's face up. It's the Well. 5 of Swords. Get out of here. I'm sick of seeing the 5 of Swords. All right, that's enough for now. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right. There's a lot to go on. I'm going to get top of the deck and bottom of the deck to clarify because I'm already thinking. Bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords. I'm sorry. Top of the deck is the Ten of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands. All right. So quickly moving away from endings. At least we want to be. Knight of Pentacles again, he's our really, really slow-moving knight. Yeah, he's going somewhere, but he's going very slowly. 5 of Swords again is about this reassessment of investment of time and energy, whether we want to partner with people or not. You know, are we being selfish or entitled to certain things? So that we need to adjust our approach in the same old stuff that we have going on. This is, you know, it's the contemplative energy, but with an air of dejectedness. I'm almost seeing, okay, with the cards that are out, with this, just in the beginning here, it's like, it's contradictory. It needs resolution. And it's like, if you were to build a chord that was major, like, it's like we've been hanging out in like a minor chord or something that's dissonant, like, it's like a half step. You just need to come down just a little bit of a dial tweak in order to have resolution in the chord, right? I'm not saying that minor chords or dissonant chords are not beautiful. They absolutely serve their part in any given song if they're well written. But it's basically about the fact that we're not able to have that resolution unless I'm going to pull up the other. Oh my God. Shit, I wish I didn't catch that on camera. It's okay, honey. There's a bug. Hang on, I'm going to let it out of the window. Oh no. That was embarrassing. Off my 3 of Cups card. It's okay, Mud. Sorry. I'm not really afraid of bugs like that. It just startled me. So my heartbeat is racing now. Whew. So we did have 3 major arcana come out, and it was the Well, the Moon, and Temperance, okay? So I think in order to do that resolution, and that's where we're at in our lives with what we've done so far, to how we're going to enter August and do things differently / continue certain things or continue to stop certain things and phase out of them, it has to do with the energies that we've been talking about before. Do you see how? Every human that's pictured across these 4 is male. Do you see how? Every human who is pictured in these 4 is female. There's something to that. So I didn't even talk about the Three of Cups yet because there was a freaking millipede on it, but it has to do with patience and trust, but also the intuition again with the moon and things that we cannot see, and kind of looking for aspects of, yeah, I'm going to need some clarity on this, but what I do want to, hang on, put a pin in that. There's a transition, 3 people in this card, 3 people in this card. There is a need to come together with like-minded people. There's a reason why I shared that about myself, right? There's a reason through channeling, right? And me not knowing what cards are going to come out, but the reading being succinct in one way or another. Same reasoning why I said the thing about Barbie being a hot pink bomb without knowing that Oppenheimer is literally about the bomb. There's always a reason, okay? And so I'm seeing, like, for me, having social connections be like safe places. Like, I'm not going to keep anybody in my life who doesn't bring value to my life. Not because I'm like, what can you do for me? But because there's no reason for that, you know? I want the people around me to be people that I love, trust, and I add to their life and they add to my life. And so I'm seeing that there has to be maybe potentially a restructuring around the people in our lives so that there's harmony, that there can be joy. You can celebrate with these people. Okay, but there's also, you know, this is the chapter. There's like this multidimensionality around the choices that we make with the people in our lives. I'm not saying you need to assess people in terms of what they can do for you, more so how they make you feel, because the Three of Cups is an emotional card with the cups, right? This, if you're only thinking about what they can do for you or what they haven't done for you or what they've done to you or what you owe them, whatever it is, that's all mental, swords, mental, overthinking, stewing. Think about how people make you feel, you know? Think about, and falls into the realm of like introversion, extroversion, recharging, how you recharge. Do you recharge with others or do you recharge alone? How do you feel after you spend time with somebody? Even if it seems like it was fun, but you feel like shit after, there's something to that, and it has to do with energetic transfer. And maybe the fact that, like, I'm thinking about the Barbara Brennan, I have these books over there on the shelf, but I'm not going to go get them. Like illustrations that are part of this book, but they're very real. It has to do with the aura and how the aura behaves, like if somebody's being passive aggressive, okay? It has a shape. It's touching your energy in a different way. So perhaps you're not necessarily intuitive enough at wherever you're at in your journey to tell that certain people are trying to leech off of you or take your energy. I mean, they probably don't know either. This is why I'm talking at the subtext. I'm talking at the deeper level of what meets the eye. These dynamics don't always present at the surface, which is why these patterns are very hard to break. It's why they're very hard to break. It's why you have to dig deep and look at things as far as like a timeline, right? You know, you could have met somebody and then, I don't know, maybe you've been friends with them forever, but everything that you've tried to do with them or something, maybe it only makes your life worse. Who knows? A lot of different ways to look at this right now. I am gonna get a clarifier for Temperance, the Moon, the Well, and the Three of Cups. So just to bring it back to that idea of resolution, where we're gonna find our resolution around, like, I mean, it's done and over, whatever it is. In fact, the certain templates, right? There are templates in society, incarnationally, like replacing. I've talked about the energetic matrix before that exists that keeps people stuck in this world. When you choose to not act within that, you are creating your own energetic grid. Like, this is how I live. This is what I do. You flash this horrible thing in my face. I'm going to look right past it and move my energy through it because that's not part of what I'm actualizing in my life. And there's a lot of power in seeing that way. It's not just like airy-fairy, it's quantum physics around how your energy is creating what you're going to experience. Okay? So there's this mental stuckness, again, with the swords being this mental activity, the pentacles being, I almost see this as it's not conducive. It's like we want, in passion, an idea, we want to move forward, but he's almost being too calculated. Okay, so I'm going to get a clarifier for both groups of 4. And I'm going to shuffle to get them. So first for this kind of rift that needs a resolution. And then second for how we're going to create that. First and second. Well, I can't really tell. Which came out first because they came out together. So I'm going to use this couplet as a clarifier for both. And then I'm going to get another couplet off the top and the bottom. Do that right now for both. So I'm getting 4 more cards. I got the 10 of Cups and the 4 of Wands. It's about stability and emotional fulfillment. So, I mean, I see these energies as thinking more about, with the Pentacle, with the thoughts, more about the stability, you know? But all these energies are the feminine, intuitive nature of like letting life flow because you're heart-led instead of head-led, if one could even say such a thing. And what I'm getting out of it is that the stability comes from the emotional fulfillment. That's been a theme for weeks and weeks and weeks. Listen to your heart. I'm not going to sing that song right now, but it is playing in my head now. Okay, my second couplet of clarifiers is the 7 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. So there is a new beginning here. They don't have to think so hard. It's almost a byproduct of the emotional work that we're doing and thinking about who we want in our lives and how we're going to create, you know, peace. So that you don't have to wake up. If you have to do certain things with certain people on different days, and I said have to, but I kind of mean like you will, right? Life does involve other people. You don't want to wake up and be concerned about having to interact with certain people. You want to be able to prune the garden, as it were, and have more of a say in the fact that you I am going to get a clarifier. What I'm trying to say is that when you think about things through the emotional lens and how things feel, the potential for future connections, the existing connections, and the connections that you might be letting go of, the material stability will come as a byproduct of that. But thinking about how you're going to create like practical stability is a little bit of a stalemate energy right now, when the energy just wants to move more quickly. So I see the resolution of the chord to make it, instead of that half step dialed up, to land on the right note. It's something that we're going to have to look through like the heart chakra in order to find. And I like that because what I did is I stacked the notes from the first, the third, and the fifth, right? A major chord. That would be like the lower chakras. The one that needs adjusting is something in the upper chakras. The foundation of the chord is fine. It has to do with how we feel. I said that, the third note. This is the fourth chakra, but you get my point. Give me a clarifier on everything I've just said, okay? About the resolution of the chord. That one popped out, but I'm going to keep going. I really wish that incident with the bug hadn't happened, but we got 2 that came out. It did, so. It's pretty hard for me to embarrass myself, even though I constantly still do it, just because it's like, it's I'm not implying that was some devastatingly embarrassing thing. I'm just saying you have to be able to laugh at yourself. It's really not a big deal. All right. I don't know what I've done, but I have 5 cards all of a sudden. Okay. Ooh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. All right, so Judgment came out again. So don't forget that there are certain things. I don't have a High Priestess. I don't have a Wheel of Fortune, but those energies are very much still at play. I'm getting that with the Well and Temperance and the Moon. So there are, there's a divine ordinance out for balance to be restored and justice to be. This isn't the judgment. This isn't the Justice card. This is the Judgment card. But I see them as being connected. And this is about needing to reassess. We know that we've been doing this. We know that we've been connecting with our emotional side more and thinking about what actually is going to bring us fulfillment, and stability in life. And I think the harsh truths that we picked up on at the middle to end of June were about the fact that fulfillment is not going to come from, protecting things in a defensive manner. What we have is the 9 of Wands, the 2 and the 3 of Wands, and the King of Wands. A lot of wands. We've got the 4 of Wands now, the 8 of Wands, the 7, the 9, the 2, the 3, and the King. Okay, so what to do with that? Well, I mean, all of their backs are turned, right? He's actively trying to persevere through issues that continue to happen in his life that he needs to take a stand against, while these guys are just still planning and strategizing, thinking about the land that they haven't gone to yet. They might want to. We're not quite sure. He certainly doesn't want to go anywhere and do anything different, but he's in a minority situation here, you know? He's just gonna end up like that. So, wait. Judgment, and then all these Wands cards came out. The thing about the King of Wands is that he's selfish, okay? So it is a king energy, but it has to do with what I said in the beginning. It's not about what can you do for me. It's about what is, you see it as circuitry again. You and another, it's a circuit. You give and you receive, and they give and they receive. And you might be like, well, I don't have that with my friends. You do. Oh, you do. Everybody does. That's just nature. That's how energy works. You always do. But if you don't think you do, maybe it's because that dynamic is all give. You know, they only take from you. You don't really get anything from them. There are different ways to assess that. Again, has to do with the emotional compass and kind of digging deep, looking out, seeing things in a new way before. But the well is also about creativity, being able to draw upon the deep recesses of our own experience to create new things. And that ties into what I was saying the other day about new combinations and like the quantum interplay between sensory experience, but how that can inform new creative combinations. So I'm kind of seeing this as this cautionary, like, you don't have to, again, we have this, when we're on the brink of really big changes, we want to be able to see it through so that we have some ability to move, you know, a little bit faster than this. Knight of Pentacles. The energy wants to move faster than we're letting it right now. And it's almost like we keep trying to strategize how it's going to go. But the train is leaving the station. That's what I just heard in my mind's eye. Give me a clarifier for the kind of like that selfish defensive energy. There it is. What is it? No. Yeah. It's the Hanged Man. Alrighty. So go back into the, you know, the state of suspension. See things from the larger vantage point. Make sure that you're not creating new chapters on faulty foundations. And what I mean by that is that if you're only operating in this, like, I need to protect the things that I have and I want to know what other people can do for me, then you're not going to be, you know, the benefit of this guy is that he is creating long-term. He's moving like hella slow, but he's creating sustainability in this material start. So, you know, I already said the thing about all the masculine energy and kind of like, not that I'm just being stereotypical, like that, like short-sighted, thick-skulled type of way, whereas this is deep. You just have to check yourself, and I've said that for my past 3 videos, I think, pertaining to different things, but just making sure that the things that you're doing aren't single-minded, really. Single-minded. You need to be able to assess, not to control, not to see how everything's going to go, but to make sure that the way you're navigating on a day-to-day basis, when you say yes or no to experience, you know, every moment that happens, you can partake in it in every, you know, any way that you choose. When you say yes or no to things, are you trying to protect yourself from something? And I talked the other day about how sometimes we can respond to things out of habit or how we've been conditioned based on the patterns that have developed within us. It's as if you're responding to something that isn't real. It hasn't happened, or the situation has not presented that way, but it's familiar to you. And so your, you know, fight or flight defense mechanisms in your brain create this response within you that is reactive, but not necessarily appropriate for what the evidence that has been presented through the interaction or whatever it may be may, you know, suggest really. So make sure that you're present, that you're conscious in your moments. You know, these days, not a single day that passes right now is inconsequential. Everything, like the energy that's, it's all good. It's rife with potential. It's beautiful, but it's intense. It's intense. I had like a severe headache for a very short amount of time, and then it just dissipated, and I was like, just trying to release it, you know? And again, a lot of the different I think if you're kind of on board with any of the things I've been talking about for the past few weeks, just the expanding of energy, like I'm already, and I've been tapped into my energy and the way it works and what it gives me in terms of my abilities psychically and my gifts for years. But that doesn't mean I'm not undergoing like a major spiritual transformation right now. I absolutely am, and I feel it, and I think about it every day, and I try to do things for myself in terms of right hydration, diet, movement. I try to do things that honor that and accommodate it, and I'm lucky, you know, that I have the understandings already to be able to help myself through. But if you don't, then it can be really jarring, you know? And I want to reiterate the fact that it's important to make space in your life to be the answer to the cause being certain things happening with your body, with the way you see things, with your desire to not engage with things anymore, or your desire to engage with something anew. Okay, so you just gotta take those things seriously. You can't, and I said those old templates, right? Those old energy grids you can't even plant things in them anymore. They're crumbly. You can't really base your decisions off of them anymore. And you're lucky right now if you're seeing things as being old and outdated, and you're thinking about a new chapter of your life as being based on something entirely new. If you're able to get yourself to that point, then you're very lucky, because the other stuff is going to be crumbling anyway. And I said it before, okay, right? The page is kind of naive, but it's emotional. A page of cups. Page has the Ace of Cups, and it's offering it. So that's, again, like love and emotion. But the Emperor is all of the kings combined. So there's like stability. There's this, I said, make sure, right, that we're not like too in that like masculine dominant, like need to control things, because of these major arcanas that came out in the beginning. The Moon, Temperance, the Well, we had Judgment too. And I see this as being the answer of the balance, right? If both of these energies were guiding you forward in this new chapter, I think you would just be fine. I think you'd be okay. But my point, King of Pentacles, more stability. What's at the top of the deck? Five of Cups. All right, I'll get to that. So it's not about doing it right or wrong. This is important, okay? It's not about doing it right or wrong. I believe that a lot of people right now, if you're in new territory and you're in a new phase of your life, whatever that means for you, everybody is, whether or not they know it. Some people are trying to make square pegs fit in round holes. And the universe is only going to let that happen for so long. It's not about doing it right or wrong, because you can't do that. You're the one who gets to go into the well and decide what you want. What do you want? Don't be like, well, you can't start from the external and build back to the way it's going to make you feel. You have to start with the way you want to feel and build everything else out around it. We sabotage our own ability to play in the mind and build those things that way when we tell ourselves, or we won't even let ourselves think that we can have something or be something or do something. This is that not focusing on the new horizons, not focusing on the cups, these two cups, which two of cups is, love and soulmate energy and union and harmony and balance and connectedness. The Three of Cups being spilled, excuse me, that's those three cups. The girls were here to party and they, spilled them and they left him there. He was in a bad attitude about it all, Now he feels like he's alone and he feels like he doesn't have anywhere to go, but he's not seeing things from the larger perspective that would help him to focus on what is capable of being maneuvered there. So this is an interesting reading, and this is not what I thought would come up today based on what I've been feeling, but I'm going to roll with it as I always do, post it, I think. Maybe I'll cut the bug part out depending on how loud that scream was, but do not underestimate your agency to navigate this right now. Like, seriously, do not underestimate your ability. There's something really fun and exciting when you live life without having to see what happens, because as you continue to get a little bit further, while you do this kind of heart-led, emotionally based, like, does it feel good? keep moving forward. I like that. I got the Page of Swords out now, right? So again, I've talked about the pages in terms of beginner's mind, right? They're like these little apprentices that go along with him, right? Two female energies to help the strong masculine energy, but it's like new idea, new emotion. Being okay. When you're younger, you're less inhibited, right? Because you haven't had bad experiences. They're like, we've got nothing to lose. Let's go for it. Something about that is tempering this like decisiveness and the ability to, and I've always loved that he has this oracle, right? He has the ball. That for me, and I know it's kind of gold with the gold leaf of the cards, but it's like he holds the moon, you know? That female intuitive ability to reflect. Okay, give me energy to embrace right now, because I understand that this has been really scattered. Even if it feels foreign, just, you'll be surprised. The only way to get to the point where you see things happening in your life that are truly reflective of like a new reality is to let go of the shore, you know, of the beach that you've been camping on. You have to be able to let go, and we don't like to do that. We don't like to let go because then we go, we don't have, you know, we're not there yet. It's that liminal space again. It's super uncomfy. But I keep doing it throughout the evolutions of the person that I am, and it seems to work out, you know? That's how you grow. And there's just so much trust that's involved with this transit right now. I can't even tell you. But as far as the taking care of yourself and having new like senses or abilities to perceive things in new ways come online right now, that's only going to be picking up in intensity throughout August. So prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for that. In a good way. In a good way. There's this woman that walks down my street every so often, and I kind of love her because she has her headphones on. She can't really hear herself. She just sings at the top of her lungs when she walks. You can hear. Listen. I know it's her because this is how she always sounds. She comes down the street just like, she's pretty good. She's all right. She can't hear herself. Okay. I said energy to embrace, right? Three of Pentacles. Again, I mentioned this card earlier in the reading, even though it hadn't come out yet, because you can't do this alone. I'm not saying you have to go to people and be like, I'm having a expansive experience around my personal energy that's led to a spiritual awakening. Do you want to work on that with me? That's not what I'm saying. It's just all about who brings you joy, you know, who sucks your joy out of you. What do you want to make? What skills do you have? What skills do you lack? And I'm not saying, you know, going to people to be like, do you have skills that are going to benefit me and what I want to do? No, it all comes from the internal and being able to know that that's available to you, and then letting the universe take you through your life and you'll meet them, you know, or they'll naturally be like weeded out from your pack or whatever. It's all about intention and not underestimating how much holding a frequency that has an idea with the emotion and the vision attached to it. Don't underestimate how much that can do, because that's in fact everything, you know, that's how everything happens. We've been holding frequencies of stuckness or lack or loss or indecision for a long time. What have they done for us? They've magnetized that energy and manifested more of that in our surroundings. There's just so much potential to break out of that. Thinking about things a different way, seeing situations a different way, feeling like we're in a healed aspect of masculine energy, meaning it's not ego-driven, it's heart-led. And I'm seeing the lions again. Lion's Gate, right? There's a reason why a gaggle of lions is called a pride rock. Okay, but then there's a reason too why the other cards that I had, and I asked for energy to embrace, and I got all these cards. Death, the true closing out of the things, you know, let it die, whatever it is. Why are you performing CPR on a dead person? It's dead. I don't like that, I'm sorry, but it's just the same illogical energy that I used when I talked about, like, if your neighbor was walking a dead dog, you would be concerned for him. you know? It's not really a sane thing to do. If I saw that, I'd be like, oh my God, maybe he lives alone and he can't psychologically accept that his companion died. Like, I would see it as this major grief-related cognitive dissonance. And we might be going through something that could be compared to that right now. Like, I'm thinking about like things that we just absolutely, we are protecting ourselves on every level. We just can't seem to process that this might be the case, whatever it is. You have to, okay? If you don't, the universe is going to send more towers in to shake you, the monkey, out of the tree. And you have a lot less control when you wait until that happens. So what else came out with death? The Queen of Wands and the Chariot. So again, have the faith that as you move forward quickly in this way that is very, very trusting and rolling with the flow, rolling with the punches, it will bring you good results. And what I said before about him, and they are kind of a selfish queen and king with the wands, you know, fiery. It's like they know they're hot shit, you know, and that's kind of obnoxious sometimes. But they're also very accomplished. They're good looking. They get what they want. It's all good. I like that she came out to temper, because even though they're both of the wands and they kind of share the energy, she is the feminine, more, you know, maternal and loving quotient of this duo. So it's not to say that you're not going to have moments of ego in your considerations. It's just to say that you need to make sure that you don't let that become a one-sided driving force in your decision making. You want to be able to oscillate back and forth between the head and the heart. This has to do with chakras being in balance again, okay? In order to, it's like the compass, right? The navigational system. I'm hoping that this has enough continuity in it to be a clear reading, because I know it's all over the place. Thank you for those cards. And like I said, I'm going to get 2 animals, and then I'm going to get 3 angel answer oracles. What time is it? Perfect. Just enough time. Oh, go see the Barbie movie. I'm serious, you won't want to miss it. So annoying. So sick how much money, like, all I kept thinking was, how many years have they been working on this? This carefully thought out and scripted bomb of a piece of work that has been dropped in to our psyches, to the American psyche. It's insane. It's like not real life. And the reason why I said well played, like, it's so subtle. It's really, really sneaky the way they do this stuff. And I will absolutely break it down to the best of my ability. And then you can decide whether or not you agree with me. I frankly don't care. It has to do with being able to see things and get them out, because I'm not seeing this conversation. I think there's a point to that, you know. All of the criticisms, good and bad, that's also curated, you know. What is shown on the news is always going to be curated. They want certain criticism of the movie out there. They want certain praise of the movie out there. That's part of its release. It's all really well done. It's so interesting. Oh my God, I'll never get over it. I've got to go see Oppenheimer, and then I'll have the full picture. Yeah. All right, we'll do the animals first, and then I'll pull the angel answers. Okay, so our animals, what do you know? We have Hawk Spirit again, which we had in a reading from the other day. I won't go into the reading for that, because you can just go back and watch the other reading if you didn't. But it says, let spirit be your guide. And I do remember specifically the description for this talked a lot about synchronicities. So Hawk Spirit has the ability to fly high and see things from above and spot prey, and then, you know, determine whether or not it's going to be able to dive, get the prey. Well, this isn't part of the interpretation, but what I'm seeing is the fact that, like, hawks will be plagued sometimes with little small birds, you know, little sparrows or chickadees or something that, like, fly around the hawk. I'm seeing right now in some of the decision making that I was talking about with, like, our social scenes and circles, but also, like, collaborative energies. Like, perhaps there is, like, you know, annoying stuff in our lives, in our fields, right? Being able to trust in spirit or the universe and see past that, but also, you know, cut it away. Just be able to be strong in yourself so that you don't feel the distractions of life, because they are kind of always buzzing around us, trying to bring us into different frames of mind that don't serve what it is that we're trying to do. So that's beautiful. 32, 5, changes. Rabbit spirit. Now is a lucky time. 4 plus 9, 13, resolves down to 4. 4 of Wands came out in the reading. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 is almost there, almost 10. It's not a time to let up on our efforts. I've talked about taking time to rest and recalibrate. Yeah, we're kind of always doing that. Do it as you need to. Do it on a day-to-day basis. If you need to go to bed at 7:30, do that. I did that last night. It felt really good. I'm going to read this, okay? I am going to read this because I haven't seen Rabbit in a very long time. That's not the right book. Okay. A sunny meadow calls, and Rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. Yay. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with, but have no fear. I talked about this in terms of you have to let go, 10 of Swords, death of the shore in order to get to the new place. You can't be well, I'll just leave my foot on this bank until that one gets close enough. It's never going to come to you. You have to let go and go to it. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy Rabbit Spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. This has to do with Leo season too, right? And harvest and the beautiful fertility of the nature and the natural world and what it shows us with flower blooms and whatnot. So there are no mistakes really when you are co-creating with spirit. So let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility. And I talked about that a little bit too at the beginning with having an opportunity to sing more, even though I get really nervous around it. I'm just going to do it anyway. It says there are no mistakes. So, I'm going to trust in that. Vulnerability is required of you now, even if you don't feel safe. This is the protection message part now. Act as if you trust that you will be okay, and soon you will see that you are okay. To create is to take risks. So at this fortunate, fertile time, banish your fears and recognize the real security is in immersing yourself in the process of co-creation. That is true. We have this false sense of security that has to do with selfishness and coveting things and miserly energy. And it much more has to do with the fact that if you create a relationship with the knowing that you're held by the universe and you put your trust and faith in, the synergy of the mind-body-spirit connection and what's revealed to you through that, you will never be let down. You will never be without. Maybe you'll be strained and challenged at times, but that's life. And it's all about being able to have something to rely on when you are strained and challenged. It's okay to admit that you don't really know how to deal with whatever is in front of you. This is where curiosity and not knowing can be a wonderful state of mind. Be playful now, admitting that you are at the beginning of something. Page of Swords, Page of Cups energy. Come on out to frolic in the sun's nurturing light, because it is time to birth something new. Lovely. Lovely stuff, folks. I mean, I cannot say it anymore. This is just such a good time. Such a good time for me to have created a YouTube channel and attracted the attention of at least, I think I have 5 consistent viewers now. It used to be 4. Thank you for watching. Thanks for being with me. Yeah, just couldn't have been a better time to start connecting with messages coming through in a more structured way for me, because as I've said before, these readings help me too. Okay, so you can have the answer to 3 questions. You can use all of these cards to speak to 1 question, however you want to do it. I did pull 3 cards. I'm going to go through them 1, 2, 3. So you can have 3 questions, or, you get to choose. The first answer to the first question, unlikely. Unlikely. I'm not going to elaborate on that. Second answer, abundance. Third answer, within the next few weeks. Within the next few weeks. Also, much of this deck is I mean, it's the angel answer oracle, so of course, but a lot of the cards are depicted with just these solitary figures with their magnificent auras and all the light rays coming out around them. This one I like because it's almost like, you know, neoclassical painting. It's got the whole thing going on, you know, the foreground, the middle, background. It's not just one angel, it's this angelic kingdom. So within the next few weeks, like, we have the potential. It was just talking with Rabbit Spirit about this fertile new land and different, you know, connections and possibilities. I like that. I'm taking this card to be the answer to the whole reading. Within the next few weeks, our lives will be changing a lot. Whether or not you know, see it, whether or not you're in spaces where the other people around you are like, yeah, I mean, I kind of feel that. You're still in it. Everyone is in it. It just has to do with layers of perception and reality and being able to hold certain things, right, in our conscious awareness long enough for them to take shape in certain ways. So, I don't know. Keep on going in whatever direction you're led to go in. And I hope that everybody's doing well. And that's all I got for today. Go see Barbie and Oppenheimer, and we'll talk about it. Okay, bye.